Tonight on NewsLink Indiana, a bold new era. We're previewing our student government special where we sat down with the newly elected slate.
And a famous Irish band performs right here at Ball State. We'll tell you who that is.
And it's been a very wet start to the week with that rain that we've been seeing on Monday and Tuesday, but it transitioned into snow on Wednesday when it's all about those winds for Thursday. But a warm-up is in the near future. More details coming up.
From the heart of Ball State University, live from the Unified Media Newsroom, NewsLink Indiana starts right now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Logan Rivera.
And I'm Madison Surface. Thanks for being with us. We begin tonight with breaking news. The Iowa Democratic Party has released updated results of the Iowa caucuses.
This follows a recount requested by the campaigns of Bernie Sanders and Pete Buttigieg. The party plans to certify the results on Saturday.
AP is reviewing the results and will not call a winner due to remaining concerns about the accuracy of the results. The new results show Pete Buttigieg with 562.954 state delegate equivalents and Sanders with 562.021.
In Iowa, Buttigieg won 13 delegates and Sanders won 12. A final delegate will be awarded to the candidate who wins the most state delegate equivalents, which AP will call on Saturday when the results are certified.
The student government election cycle came to an end this week, and tonight we're hearing more of what Bold plans to do.
NewsLink Indiana's Tyler Brumma joins us ahead of tonight's SGA special. Tyler, what are some of the plans being discussed?
Well, they're talking about a lot, and they're hoping to make what they are saying is a bold statement come next semester. This comes after the results following round 2 of voting in this year's SGA election, which, just like last year, went to a runoff. Now, today I sat down with the slate for our NewsLink Indiana special. We discussed several different topics, including some of the slate's major platform points. But we also talked about some of the discussions that happened throughout this election cycle. One of those topics was the Shaheen Borna video. You're seeing it right there. This video put BSU in the national spotlight, as you may remember. That happened last month. Here's a little bit of that portion of the conversation.
Something that I know that we felt very important was to add to our platform points were those 2 points about diversity with the intercultural dialogues course and pushing diversity training for professors. We don't feel that it's very opportunistic to make sure that our professors know how to treat students with respect, and we think it's very important to make sure that happens.
And again, be sure to stay with us tonight at 9:30 immediately following this newscast for our NewsLink Indiana special, A Bold New Era. You're going to hear a lot from Bold, as well as Runner-Up Alliance SGA President Aiden Medellin. He's going to be joining us as well. We're also taking a look back at this year's SGA election cycle, as you would expect, and previewing what could come. Again, that's all tonight at 9:30 on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page. And now, guys, we've been covering since the beginning, and it's worth noting that there's still more to come when it comes to SGA. The slate Bold, they're going to be inaugurated come April 15th. And of course, NewsLink Indiana, we're going to be there.
Terrific, Tyler. We're moving forward looking at tonight's special. Thank you.
Layoffs are coming to one Indianapolis company. The asset financing and fleet management company 19th Capital Group plans to close its Indianapolis location. It filed a notice with the Indiana Department of Workforce Development this week. This closure will eliminate nearly 200 jobs.
The notice says layoffs will begin towards the end of March, and most will occur over a 2-week period starting at the end of April. Affected positions include sales reps, accounts receivable analysts, and truck maintenance workers and drivers.
The coronavirus cuts across the globe more and more, with more cases being confirmed by the day. President Donald Trump and his administration say the risk to Americans is low. But Karen Kafa reports the CDC says there will be more cases.
President Trump making a rare appearance in the White House briefing room Wednesday evening, pushing back on skepticism about his administration's preparedness to handle the coronavirus.
Because of all we've done, the risk to the American people remains very low.
The president was flanked by members of the White House Coronavirus Task Force and Vice President Mike Pence, who he says will lead their efforts.
They're totally brilliant, and we're doing really well, and Mike is going to be in charge, and Mike will report back to me.
The CDC saying it's not a question of if coronavirus will spread in the U.S., it is a question of when.
We do expect more cases. and this is a good time to prepare.
Large outbreaks in other regions, countries like Italy and Iran, have sparked concerns about the virus's spread and its impact on global travel and the world economy. Some U.S. cities and local governments taking their own precautions. New York City has at least 1,200 hospital beds ready in case of an outbreak. Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti says public areas at LAX are being disinfected every hour.
We're making sure that those points of entry and those places where we could see somebody come in and create a vector are as secure as we can possibly make them.
President Trump said the U.S. may add travel restrictions from other impacted countries, but not right now. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
Growing fear of the coronavirus leads to a historic day on Wall Street as the Dow posts its worst one-day drop ever. It lost nearly 1,200 points, and all three indices were down more than 4% when the closing bell rang this afternoon. For the Dow, the decline was particularly bad, losing 10% from its recent peak.
In other health-related news, marijuana has spiked among people 65 and older. The number of baby boomers who smoke or consume edible weed increased twofold between 2015 and 2018. That's according to the Journal of American Medical Association. But doctors are warning this may be a problem. Research shows that a 180% increase in use among diabetic adults, as well as an increase in those who use both alcohol and marijuana. Researchers say small studies have shown that cannabis may be harmful for people who recently had heart attacks. Well, Madison, while the older generation seems to be getting hot and wild, it seems like things are still cooling down here in Indiana.
Yes, I've been freezing. I saw some snow when I looked out the window. Let's check with Jordan to see what we can expect in the weather.
Yes, it's been another right around the freezing point for today, and those winds have not been holding anything back. But taking a look at our radar right now, we see some snow flurries earlier throughout the evening, some snow in Muncie, but it's now concentrated more towards the south of Muncie. And continuing on to back to the wind chills, those precision cast winds. Around midnight tonight, those winds dropping down to the northwest at 6 miles per hour, 6 in South Bend, and 7 miles per hour in Indianapolis. Moving ahead into Friday morning, those winds jumping up a little bit mild. It's a little bit on the mild side from the west at 8 miles per hour in Muncie, 7 miles per hour in Indianapolis. But as we continue on to the afternoon hours, those winds start to jump up above 10 miles per hour once again, with winds to the west at 15 miles per hour and 50 miles per hour as well in Muncie. More details coming up in full weather.
All right, thanks, Jordan. Now, in Wisconsin, police are identifying the shooter in the Milwaukee brewery incident as an electrician whose home was searched today. But there are still a lot of questions. Camila Bernal reports authorities are still trying to piece together the answers.
Active shooter, reports of one person shot at Miller Coors.
An armed employee storming a Milwaukee brewing complex Wednesday, gunning down 5 people.
We have located 5 additional deceased adult victims. The victims all worked at Molson Coors.
Police say the 51-year-old man eventually turned the gun on himself.
5 families, 6 families actually, are grieving and will be grieving because of this horrific act of this individual.
More than 1,000 employees were working on the sprawling campus when they began receiving texts and email alerts about an active shooter.
Find a safe place, active shooter on campus. Police are on scene, remain on lockdown.
Dispatch from one fire engine call the scene a war zone.
Hold all companies, hold all companies. They do not have the shooter down. It is an additional victim.
The names of the victims have not been released, nor has the motive of the shooter. A local company, Brew City Brand, announcing they're making Miller Strong shirts to help raise money for the families of the victims.
That company, Brew City Brand, will be giving those Miller Strong t-shirts to brewery employees and their families. There are currently no plans to sell them to the public.
Next on NewsLink Indiana, a famous Irish band visits Ball State. We'll tell you who that is coming up.
And one restaurant is warming customers' hearts with a new coffee subscription, where you can get your caffeine fix on a schedule.
Riding the bus is an easy thing to do. Last year, we carried 60,000 riders from the Ball State area. 50,000 of those were students. Anywhere you want to go, Mitts will take you there.
So, I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
In campus news, a new event at Ball State kicked off on Wednesday night with one of the biggest names in Irish music. The Irish band Dervish traveled from Ireland to perform at Pruis Hall for the first coffee and cabaret event. Dervish has been performing Irish traditional music for more than 25 years. The group of six also received a Lifetime Achievement Award from BBC in 2019. The band is also fronted by one of Ireland's most famous singers, Cathy Jordan. Dervish is one of the most internationally well-known groups that has ever performed at Ball State. During the performance, Jordan got the crowd involved during the chorus. The cabaret event will feature 3 more groups in March. For more information, go to bsu.edu.
Panera Bread has a new treat for its customers, a new coffee subscription for those who need a cup a day. For $8.99 a month, you can get your coffee served hot or cold. There are no set hours to purchase your cup as long as your nearest location is open. For anyone wanting to subscribe, you must first become a member of Panera's loyalty program.
And get ready to snag a free slice of cheesecake in the month of March. The Cheesecake Factory is giving away free slices if you purchase an order over $15 through DoorDash. The offer is only available on weekdays when using the code LUNCHSLICE. DoorDash is also offering free delivery if you purchase any order from the Cheesecake Factory. But researchers are finding that all this online shopping is actually bad for the environment. Online shoppers tend to buy products in small amounts, and many of their orders come from different vendors. This creates more packaging waste. Researchers have been comparing carbon footprints for a year and a half, and these studies show the carbon footprint was lower for products purchased online and picked up in physical stores. The winter weather continues. Take a look at this picture from the roads. Our chief weather forecaster, Gabe Pro. As you can see, central Indiana received quite a bit of snow and freezing wind chills yesterday. Jordan, when is this winter weather going away?
Well, this winter weather is going to be sticking around for the next couple days, but warm-up is in the near future. Looking at our current temperatures right now, you can see a bit of a mixed bag over the state of Indiana, with temperatures in the low to high 20s in the northern part of the state, 28 Lafayette, 22 in Kokomo, but down south, temperatures in the mid to high 30s. More details in the full weather.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse,
Yes.
you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
So take a look at these snowy conditions outside. I believe this is actually the Johnson Complex here on Ball State's campus.
It is looking like a winter wonderland out there, Madison, and it is about as white as our outfits are this evening.
Yes, it is, but I do not like to see the snow. So Jordan, what can you tell us about, is there more snow to come or not?
Well, there's no snow to come in the near future, but right now we can expect those temperatures to stay below the freezing mark for the moment right now. But right here in Muncie, temperatures right below the freezing, 30 degrees with winds to the west at 6 miles per hour, and a feel like temperature of 24 degrees right now. Continuing on to the wind gusts, once again, that has been the main story for tonight. Those wind gusts dropping down to 9 miles per hour at 12 a.m. tonight. Northwest from 15 miles per hour up in South Bend, and as we continue on into Friday, those winds die down just a little bit more, about 10 miles in Muncie. Winds to the northwest at 9 miles per hour in Indianapolis. Continue on to afternoon hours. Those winds start to pick up once again, mostly between 10 to 15 miles per hour for the main winds, but those gusts a little bit higher, 16 miles per hour here in Muncie. And by the evening hours, those winds die down yet again to about 10 miles per hour for those gusts here in Muncie. Continuing on to our wind chills right now for Thursday evening tonight, those wind chills dying down to 16 for tonight. Continuing on into Friday evening, those winds stay relatively the same, but wind chills will be rather quite a bit lower, making those temperatures quite a bit lower for tomorrow for those forecasted wind chills. But by tomorrow night, those temperatures down to 10 once again for tonight. But you can see those snow and those cloud covers are making their way out into around midnight tonight. We should not expect any more snow for the near future right now. But those clouds kind of really can't make up their minds. Some clouds moving back in around 5 p.m. tomorrow for Friday, clearing out once again, but sticking around Saturday at 4 a.m. Those clouds work their way back in, and then we have more clear skies until we get partly cloudy conditions for Saturday evening. But for the next 12 hours, those temperatures dropping down to 23 degrees at 1 a.m., continuing to drop down to 16 at 7 a.m. before we start to trend upward in those temperatures for the early tomorrow. So the temperatures will start to trend upward, but the low tonight is 16 degrees with those lingering flurries dying off before midnight. Winds to the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour, so very moderate winds, quite akin to what we've seen throughout the day. But tomorrow staying below the freezing mark, 29 degrees for tomorrow, mostly sunny conditions, winds to the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Those wind chills dropping down a little bit lower from what we've even seen today. So hopefully that sunshine that we'll be seeing tomorrow can help mitigate the wind chill just a little bit. But taking a look at our mid-7-day forecast, temperatures on Saturday down to 34 degrees, sitting right in the mid-30s with sunny conditions. But we jump up nearly 20 degrees on Sunday with mostly sunny conditions. So that warm-up is in the near future, but the rain does return around 50, with 56 for our high on Monday, 80% chance of precipitation, 70% chance on Tuesday with 55 as our high. And by the time we get to the middle of next week, about the same time, we start to decrease in those temperatures. 51 on Wednesday, 40% chance of precipitation before dropping down to 20% on Thursday with 43 for our high.
Well, Madison, I hate to break it to you, but it looks like we are not going to be getting that warmer weather anytime soon.
I know, I'm pretty sad about it, but thank you, Jordan. Actually, I got a chance to go to the NFL Combine in Indianapolis earlier today. We'll be talking all things Combine next.
And we're taking a look at boys basketball sectionals set for this weekend. That's next in sports.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to the shelterpetproject.org and meet a few who are in a shelter near you. Harlow. Oh, she's one great listener who loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to the shelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Problems. The ones nobody talks about at cocktail parties. We go looking for them. No matter the obstacles, no matter the odds, we surround a community's most critical problems, and we fight. United Way fights for the health, education, and financial stability of every person in every community. Will you?
It doesn't take a scientist to cure hunger.
or a fancy economist to create safe housing. It takes imagination, creativity, sweat equity. And I think of kids going to school hungry. Hunger, homelessness. In this land of plenty, seriously? Come on, we could fix this. Help out, or don't. The choice is yours.
Weeknights, NewsLink Indiana brings you the news before you go to bed.
But Friday mornings, you're waking up with Cardinal weather. We've got the latest news headlines.
Freezing temperatures have set in all the way down in Louisiana.
One man dead after flooding in Venice, Italy.
Up to the minute weather conditions.
Cold temperatures are the story this morning.
And of course, lots of fun.
It is not
What
funny.
on earth is happening there?
I feel sorry for the little guy.
I've got my socks on. Annie with her curly hair, which is actually never curly. Join us Friday mornings at 8 on Facebook Live.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Imani Butts with sports. Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, but in this case, close doesn't count. You have to win. NewsLink Indiana's Blake Dollier has the ringer.
It's a Central Indiana Conference tradition. The horseshoe, started by the superintendent at Tipton High School in 1933. To get it, a team must win against a CIC opponent that won it last. Some teams, however, struggle to write their name in the book that comes with it.
The most difficult part was probably coming up with a typewriter to try to get this added on there, but we were able to do that, and now we just got to figure out how we're going to keep at it from here. But it's a pretty neat thing that's been traveling around for a long time.
Blackford is the latest team to win it. They've held it 15 times, and Hartford City High School held it 8 times prior to the school's consolidation in 1969. But some CIC student athletes never hear of the trophy.
Somebody may have got it, but if you already played them until somebody beats them and it rolls back around, they're ahead of you, you'll never get a chance. So just by sheer luck, you may never even get a chance in your career to even play for it. So it's pretty special when you do get it.
Surprisingly, despite his experience, Jerry Hoover hasn't heard of the tradition.
Well, I didn't know anything about it until this evening.
The longest drought the Hartford City Airedales and Blackford Bruins went without it is 84 months, nearly 7 years. That was broken against Oak Hill on Valentine's Day, and junior Max Wars says it was driven by momentum.
Oak Hill was a really good team, and we're getting close to sectionals here, and I think it was a great win, giving us momentum for sectionals.
It was a time to celebrate for Blackford, hoisting the Vince Lombardi Trophy of the CIC.
We took a picture a little while ago. Have all the kids, they said they were kind of looking at it. Some of them were even kissing it there. I'm sure there's all kinds of people been kissing this thing for years.
And for Coach Hoover, he was just happy to see the joy in his team.
Well, I'm happy about it because the kids are happy.
Blackford's shortest time with the trophy, 6 days. But this time around, they'll have it at least until December when next season's conference play begins. In Muncie, Blake Dollier, NewsLink, Indiana.
Blackford will look to take this momentum into sectionals, where they'll be playing on their home floor. While students on Ball State campus will be heading home for spring break, Delaware County High School students will be preparing for boys basketball sectionals. In 2A at Blackford, the Bruins are taking on Madison Grant's Argyles. During the regular season, the Bruins beat the Argyles 93-74. In 3A at Newcastle, the Muncie Burris Owls will face the Yorktown Tigers. The Delta Eagles have received the bye, and they will watch from the sidelines and play the winner of that matchup. All these teams are set to take the court on Tuesday, March 3rd. Today's NewsLink Indiana stopped by the NFL Combine to scout some of the faces for the 2020 NFL Draft. This morning featured all the defensive line and linebacker prospects for the upcoming draft, including some big names. Isaiah Simmons is a linebacker from the University of Clemson who looks to make an immediate impact in the NFL with his speed and strength. Chase Young is a defensive edge from Ohio State. Young is expected to be a top 3 pick in the draft. Josh Oche is a linebacker from the University of Michigan looking to make an impact with his versatility.
They like versatile players. They like players that can do a multitude of things, aggressive, physical players, and guys that are smart.
The NFL Draft will begin April 23rd. Now, Madison, how was the Combine?
Yeah, it's one of those things that you grew up as a kid watching on TV. It was constantly playing in my house every year, and to actually be there was so surreal. And I know that some of the players we were able to talk to felt the same way. They had dreamed of playing in the NFL or being looked at by the NFL, and then today and this week is the final time that they were actually able to, and they said it was just like a dream come true and just that surreal feeling.
Oh, I'm so happy for them. I'm happy for you that you got to go.
Thank you. It was an incredible experience, and I loved every second of it.
Well, since I have nothing to add to sports, we're going to move on with the news. Next on NewsLink Indiana, we've got something sweet for you, and today is its national holiday.
And we've got something not so sweet. What bug is causing problems in Kenya?
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem.
Just like the rules to surviving Zombieland, there are steps you can take to be prepared for an emergency.
It's the right thing to do.
Talk with your family to make a plan. Look for safe areas to meet up if separated. And stock up on supplies. It's never too early to get prepared. So start now.
Right now? Right now.
You can't predict emergencies, but you can be ready.
You're welcome, America.
Visit ready.gov today to learn more.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Did you know that there are 600 strawberries in the world?
I did not, Madison, but tell me more.
Well, today we celebrate National Strawberry Day. My favorite fruit is grown in most places around the world and loaded with vitamin C. You can join the celebration by posting a picture of your favorite strawberry dish with the hashtag, you guessed it, National Strawberry Day.
Well, Madison, do you know what else likes to eat strawberries?
What, Logan?
Locusts. Well, maybe not specifically strawberries, but the pesky critters are giving East Africa a lot of problems. For 3 months now, desert locusts have been eating their way through the continent, causing chaos and food shortages on their way. Officials from the United Nations say the pests could multiply by 500% by June if not stopped. Well, the only thing I know for certain is that if they came to Indiana today, they would all die off and there would be no problem whatsoever.
Honestly, I don't handle cold well either, so I'm kind of concerned for myself. Jordan, can you tell us more?
Well, I'm not a fan of the cold weather either, but we will be warming up as we reach the early part of next week. A bit of a gift for spring break, some warmer weather on the way. 54 degrees on Sunday, with mostly sunny conditions, but that rain does return in the start of next week. Monday, 56 for our high, 80% chance of rain, 70% on Tuesday, dropping down to 40% chance on Wednesday, and then 20% chance on Thursday. Temperatures in the mid 50s, dropping to the low 50s on Wednesday, and then dropping down once again this time next week to 43 degrees on Thursday.
Terrific. Well, I hope you broke a sweat when you were running back from Indianapolis today.
I did a little bit, but it did not stop that snow from coming down. It's going to be a cold start to our Cardinal spring break for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, that is all for tonight for our normally scheduled NewsLink Indiana broadcast. Be sure to stay with us for our student government special, NewsLink Indiana, A Bold New Era. That's starting right now.
And for news anytime, anywhere, go to ballstatedaily.com. From Jordan, Madison, and myself, have a great evening.